Shelter-in-place warnings for a snowstorm. Let me say that again. Shelter-in-place warnings are being issued right now for parts of North Carolina because of what's coming tomorrow. When was the last time you heard that for winter weather? This is not your typical coastal storm. Drop your city in the comments in the next 30 seconds because I am about to break down exactly when this hits you and what you need to do tonight to prepare. I need to know where you're watching from right now. Comment your city and state. I am going through every single comment tonight to build personalized forecasts for tomorrow's live update. The storm timing varies by hundreds of miles, and I want to make sure you know exactly when your window closes. Be specific with your location. Do it now. Here's what I am seeing and why this is so critical. Kill Devil Hills, New Bern, Jacksonville. You are about to experience 8 to 10 inches of snow with hurricane-force winds, 65 to 75 mile-per-hour gusts. At the same time, Charlotte, 8 to 9 inches possible. Columbia, up to 7 inches. Raleigh, 5 to 8 inches, but with major timing uncertainty, I'll explain. Greenville, South Carolina, 5 to 6 inches. But here's what makes this so dangerous. Snow rates are going to exceed 2 to 3 inches per hour under the heaviest bands. That means even with plows running, roads become impassable. And this is happening on a Saturday when people think they can run errands. We're talking about millions of people in the impact zone. The entire corridor from Augusta through Columbia, through Charlotte, through Raleigh is under moderate risk for major winter storm impacts. Interstate 26, Interstate 95, Interstate 74, Interstate 85. All of these become parking lots tomorrow. If you are planning to drive anywhere in the Carolinas or Georgia tomorrow, cancel those plans right now. Over 100 people have died from our most recent ice storm. 60,000 people still without power in Nashville. Thousands more across Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky sitting in the cold and dark. And we're about to add another layer of misery with what comes after this snow. Extreme cold. Record-breaking cold for some areas, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me walk you through the timeline first. Right now, it's Friday evening, January 30th. Snow is already falling on the northwestern side of the Appalachians. Knoxville, Southwest Virginia, Beckley, West Virginia, picking up a couple inches overnight. But that's just the warm-up act. The real show starts Saturday morning when a low-pressure system off the South Carolina coast begins to rapidly intensify. This just got more complicated. We're not dealing with one simple system. We have a mesoscale low feature to the west that could fire off intense snow squalls into Alabama. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, you might wake up Saturday to heavy snow. And get this, Dothan, the Florida Panhandle, you could see snow. Actual snow in Florida, the Gulf Coast of Florida, because of how cold the air mass is behind this system. Meanwhile, the main event spins up off the Carolina coast, and this is where the meteorology gets fascinating. This storm undergoes bombogenesis. When pressure drops more than 24 millibars in 24 hours, we call it a bomb cyclone. The storm intensifies so fast it essentially becomes a winter hurricane. I am looking at model output for Saturday afternoon, and the structure looks identical to a hurricane, that tight circulation, that well-defined eye feature. Except we are dealing with snow and blizzard conditions instead of rain and storm surge. Well, actually, we are dealing with storm surge. Coastal flooding is going to be a massive problem from the Carolinas all the way up to Maine. Even areas that don't see a single snowflake will experience coastal flooding from the wind field this storm generates. But I'll get to that. First, I need to prepare you for something. There's a wild card in this forecast, and I've been warning about it for days. It's called a dry slot. When you have rapid intensification of a low-pressure system, sometimes you get this tongue of dry, sinking air that wraps into the middle of the storm. Picture it like a donut. Heavy snow on the outer edges, but a gap in the middle where barely anything falls. The latest high-resolution models are showing a significant dry slot developing Saturday. This could dramatically cut snow totals in a huge swath from Sumter, South Carolina, through Fayetteville, through Asheboro, through Sanford, through Raleigh, through Greensboro, and up toward Virginia Beach. Even Charlotte could see reduced totals if this dry slot is as robust as models suggest. Now here's the thing. I don't fully trust what the models are showing with this dry slot. The high-resolution rapid refresh model struggles with low-pressure systems over open water. It might be modeling the intensity wrong. It might be modeling the placement wrong. So I am giving you ranges on snow totals, not single numbers because this could go either way. But let me tell you where there is no uncertainty. Jacksonville, North Carolina, Beaufort, New Bern, Kill Devil Hills, Elizabeth City. You are absolutely getting destroyed by this. No dry slot for you. You are in the prime location for a legitimate blizzard. And I mean textbook definition blizzard. Falling snow, winds exceeding 35 miles per hour, visibility under a quarter mile for 3 or more hours. You're getting all of that and more. Both the European model and the American GFS model agree on the overall setup. That gives me high confidence. When models disagree, I tell you, when they agree, you need to listen. They both show this massive storm. They both show widespread heavy snow. They differ slightly on the exact track and the dry slot intensity, which is why I'll be updating you constantly tomorrow as new model runs come in. Let me walk you through what the radar evolution looks like hour by hour. Around midnight tonight, you've got that persistent snow band on the northwest side of the Appalachians. Nothing dramatic. By early Saturday morning, convection starts firing up. Atlanta, Augusta, Asheville, this is when your snow begins. Moderate to heavy rates developing quickly. By mid-morning Saturday, the low-pressure center is rapidly intensifying off the South Carolina coast. The precipitation shield expands. Now we are seeing snow from Savannah, Georgia, all the way up through the entire state of South Carolina into North Carolina. Charleston might even see an inch or two by early afternoon Saturday. Saturday afternoon is when this storm looks terrifying on satellite. That hurricane structure is fully developed. Myrtle Beach is getting hammered, Wilmington is getting buried, and out on the Outer Banks, conditions are deteriorating rapidly toward full blizzard criteria. By Saturday evening around 9 p.m., if there was a dry slot over Raleigh earlier in the day, it's filling in now. Everyone is seeing snow at this point. The precipitation shield is massive, and this is when the wind really picks up on the coast. Saturday night into early Sunday morning is peak intensity for coastal areas. Kill Devil Hills, you re-experiencing 65 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts. Imagine standing outside in a blizzard with hurricane force winds. You can tee because you shouldn't be outside. This is why we have shelter-in-place warnings. The storm continues impacting the coast into Sunday morning as it begins lifting northeast. But here's what's interesting. The precipitation shield thins out dramatically. We're not expecting significant snow in Delaware, New Jersey, New York, or even most of Massachusetts. Cape Cod might get sideswiped with possibly 6 inches on the high end, but this is not a major nor'easter for the I-95 corridor north of Virginia. Just like I promised, here's every city broken down. I am changing up my delivery for each location so this stays engaging. Kill Devil Hills, let us start with you because you are in the absolute worst position. Widespread 8 to 10 inches minimum. I would be shocked if you don't have locations exceeding 12 inches, but it's not the snow depth that's the story. It's the combination. Heavy snow falling at rates up to 3 inches per hour. Wind gusting to 65 to 75 miles per hour. Those are Category 1 hurricane winds. Blowing snow, zero visibility, coastal flooding, waves crashing over dunes, sea spray freezing on contact. This is as severe as winter weather gets on the East Coast. Storm chasers are already positioning in your area to document this. You should not be outside. Shelter in place means exactly that. Stay inside from Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. Jacksonville and New Bern, North Carolina, same story for you. 8 to 10 inches, blizzard conditions, hurricane force winds. Your peak impacts hit Saturday evening and continue overnight. Power outages are almost guaranteed with these wind speeds and heavy wet snow on power lines. If you lose power Saturday night with temperatures dropping, that's a life-threatening situation. Prepare now. Beaufort and Elizabeth City, you are in the same boat. Blizzard conditions, 8 to 10 inches, extreme winds. This is a long-duration event for you. Saturday morning through Sunday morning. Almost 24 hours of deteriorating conditions. Wilmington, you are getting crushed. 8 to 10 inches possible. Wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour, even though you are not as close to the storm center as the Outer Banks. Light, fluffy snow because of how cold it is, which means significant blowing and drifting. Visibility near zero during peak snowfall. Interstates around you become impassable. Raleigh, this is where forecast complexity comes in. The range is 3 to 8 inches depending on that dry slot. Here's what I know for certain. If you are not seeing snow by Saturday afternoon, you will be by Saturday evening. That gap fills in. The question is, how much falls before any potential dry slot develops and how long it lasts? I am leaning toward 5 to 8 inches for you, but 3 inches is possible on the low end if that dry slot parks over you for hours. Either way, significant impacts. Either way, travel becomes dangerous. Greensboro, Asheboro, Sanford, Fayetteville, you are all in Raleigh-esque camp. 5 to 8 inches likely, but dry slot uncertainty exists. What I can guarantee is that even on the low end, you are getting enough snow to shut down travel. And the timing hits Saturday when people might try to be out and about. Charlotte, your range is 4 to 9 inches. High end, 8 to 9 inches possible. Low end from the European model, 4 inches. I am betting on 5 to 8 inches. Interstate 85 through your area is going to be a disaster. Atlanta to Greenville to Charlotte, that entire corridor, plan on it being shut down. Snow rates under the heaviest bands hit 2 to 3 inches per hour. That's faster than plows can clear. Add in wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, creating blowing snow. You've got whiteout conditions. Virginia Beach, you are on the northern fringe, 2 to 4 inches expected. You will see impacts, you'll see snow, but you're not getting buried like areas to your south. Your bigger concern is the wind and potential coastal flooding. Columbia, South Carolina, here's my take on your forecast. The range is 2 to 7 inches. I am leaning heavily toward the higher end, around 7 inches, because I don't think the dry slot impacts you as much as areas farther north. Snow starts Saturday morning. Heavier snow develops around 11 a.m. Continues into Saturday evening. Expect whiteout conditions during peak snowfall. Florence, South Carolina, 7 inches possible. You are positioned perfectly for heavy accumulation. Interstate 95 through your area, forget about it. Impassable. Greenville, South Carolina, 5 to 6 inches. You are in the bullseye. Interstate 26 between you and Asheville and down to Columbia, all of it problematic. Heavy snow Saturday morning continuing through afternoon. Snow rates could hit 2 to 3 inches per hour under bands. Greenwood, South Carolina, 7 inches expected. Moderate to heavy snow all day Saturday. Whiteout conditions likely. Charleston, South Carolina, you might see an inch around 2 p.m. Saturday. Your main concerns are wind and coastal issues, not snow accumulation. Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, 2 to 3 inches possible, maybe more. But combined with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, you're going to have blowing and drifting snow. Beaches experience significant erosion and coastal flooding. Atlanta, 1 to 2 inches for the metro. Northern suburbs toward Gainesville, 3 to 4 inches. Northeast Georgia mountains, 6 inches possible. Interstate 85, Interstate 75, Interstate 20, all treacherous Saturday. This hits during daytime when temperatures are well below freezing, so roads ice up immediately. Augusta, Georgia, 1 to 2 inches. But you are in the zone where that mesoscale low could fire intense but brief snow squalls early Saturday. Could be impressive while it lasts. Athens and Gainesville, Georgia, 3 to 4 inches. This is significant for you. Knoxville, Tennessee, 4 to 5 inches total from both systems. Higher elevations in the Smokies, up to 16 inches possible. The mountains get absolutely buried. Now what about areas farther south and west? Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Dothan, Florida Panhandle. That mesoscale feature could pull snow squalls into your area Saturday morning. Brief but intense. Actual snow in southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle because of how cold this air mass is. Sunday morning temperatures brutal. Nashville near 10 degrees, St. Louis 4 degrees, Chicago 10 degrees, but look how far south this penetrates. Birmingham 16 degrees, Atlanta 16 degrees, widespread 15 degrees across Carolinas and Virginia, Tallahassee 21 degrees, wind chill feels like 5. Tampa near freezing, Miami below freezing with wind chill. Even portions of the Bahamas might feel below freezing. Extreme cold for the deep south. Hard freeze warnings and extreme cold warnings for parts of Florida. Hasn't happened in decades. Life-threatening cold for vulnerable populations. Critical threat to agriculture and infrastructure. Citrus growers know what this means. Gulf effect snow potential in Florida Sunday. Warm Gulf water acts like the Great Lakes generating snow squalls. Cedar Key through the villages, possibly into Orlando, Nature Coast into Tampa, south as Arcadia. Snow could accumulate in Tampa. Coating possible. Bahamas, snow chances decreasing but not zero, first time since 1970s if it happens. Official falling iguana alert for South Florida. When temperatures drop this low, iguanas go into a type of hibernation and fall from trees. If you see one on the ground, it's probably not dead, just cold. Don't be alarmed. Wind field on this storm is massive. Georgia experiences 40 to 45 mile per hour gusts Saturday. Florida gets strong winds, strongest on Carolina coast. Outer Banks 65 to 75 mile per hour, onshore during high tide. Significant coastal flooding. Wind extends up the coast. New Jersey, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine all face coastal flooding even without significant snow. Wind drives water into coastal areas. High tide Saturday night and Sunday worsens this. Coastal warnings up for much of eastern seaboard. Now here's what makes the timing critical, and this is something people aren't talking about enough. This storm arrives on a Saturday. People think Saturday means they can run errands, go to the store, visit friends. You cannot do that. This is a stay-home day. Conditions deteriorate rapidly Saturday morning and dawn improve until Sunday for most areas, Monday for coastal areas. The sequence matters. Heavy snow first making travel impossible, then extreme cold behind it, creating dangerous conditions for anyone who loses power. Then for some areas, additional snow from Gulf effect or lake effect. It's layered winter weather impacts. Not just one thing. Multiple threats compounding each other. I need to be transparent about uncertainty because that builds trust. The track of this storm could shift 50 miles overnight. New model data comes in every 6 hours. If the track shifts north, some cities get more snow. If it shifts south, different cities get hammered. The dry slot is the biggest unknown. Does it develop as robustly as the high-resolution model shows? Does it impact the cities I mentioned, or does it stay farther south or farther east? I'll know more tomorrow as models refine their solutions. When both the European model and the American GFS model agree on overall setup, confidence is high. They both show this bomb cyclone. They both show widespread heavy snow across the Carolinas. They differ on fine details. Track placement within 50 miles, dry slot intensity and location, northern extent of heavy snow. Those details matter for specific cities, but the overall message is clear. Major winter storm, blizzard conditions on coast, extreme cold behind it. Way too early for specifics, but not too early to mention. There are signals for another potential system next week. I don't have details. Models are still developing it, but the pattern supports additional storm chances. Something to watch. I'll cover that more tomorrow. Let me give you actionable steps with specific deadlines. Tonight, Friday night, make sure you have supplies. Food, water, medications, flashlights, batteries, phone chargers. If you are in the snow zone and you don't have these things, go get them tonight. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, be off the roads by early morning. Once snow starts, dawn to venture out. Saturday afternoon, if you are on the North Carolina coast, shelter in place goes into effect. Do not go outside. Saturday night, protect your pipes from freezing. Let faucets drip. Wrap exposed pipes. This applies to everyone in the cold zone, especially the deep south where infrastructure isn't built for this. Sunday, deal with the extreme cold. Check on elderly neighbors. Check on anyone vulnerable. Bring pets inside. Drop your location in the comments one more time. I am going through these tonight to prepare tomorrow's personalized forecasts. The more specific you are, the better I can dial in your timing and totals. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. I am going live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, possibly earlier if we see major overnight changes. You need those updates. Track could shift. Totals could change. I'll have the latest model data, refined forecasts, and specific timing adjustments for your area. This is not me being sensational. This is me giving you the facts so you can prepare. Over 100 people died in the recent ice storm. Thousands still without power facing another bout of cold. I don't want anyone else getting hurt. I don't want anyone getting stuck on a highway in blizzard conditions. I don't want anyone in the south losing pipes because they didn't know how cold it's going to get. Check on your neighbors this weekend, especially elderly, especially anyone who might lose power and not have heat. Community matters during events like this. Saturday is a stay-home day. Sunday is a survive the cold day. Monday is when things start improving for most areas, but coastal areas might still be dealing with impacts. Final recap. Heavy snow Saturday across Georgia and the Carolinas. Blizzard conditions Saturday evening and night on Outer Banks. Extreme cold Sunday morning from Florida to Canada. Potential Gulf effect snow in Florida Sunday. Coastal flooding Saturday night and Sunday entire eastern seaboard. This is multi-layered, complex, and dangerous. But if you prepare now, if you stay home tomorrow, if you protect your property and check on your neighbors, we'll get through this. Models will refine overnight. I'll have updated forecasts tomorrow morning. Critical information you need before this storm arrives. See you tomorrow. Stay safe.